right, guys, so welcome. This is Queued Up, and we're doing a little special episode today, just trying to get your mental state, your body feeling good. These are some weird times. Not many people are used to being quarantined inside their homes, or social distancing has taken a big toll on a lot of people, and, that 6-foot rule. So just better, adapting to our new daily routines and schedules and how to make it all make sense. And one of my secrets is I have a very good friend of mine who helps keep me sane. And she is my go-to whenever I want to try to meditate or clearing. She does a lot of research, stars and planets, alignments, energies. So just a really good source that I've always been able to go to help me with my clarity and my peace of mind. And I have these amazing people in my life, and I want to showcase their amazing abilities and skills. So my special co-host today, I'm going to let her introduce herself and give a little bit of background because I could talk about her all day long. But Miss Brittany, please take it away.
I love you so much. Hey guys, I'm so excited to be here. My name is Brittany Renee. I am a intuitive empath, energy healer, light worker, a lot of words that you could use. I basically work with clients in kind of a mind mentor space is how I like to say it. And I help you bring a grounding energy into the space. I help you clear out anything that is not yours, that you don't need anymore. And yeah, right now is crazy. We've had just the wildest times, and there's a lot of energy flowing through. I talk about energy all the time, how it affects us on all different levels. So I'm excited to dive in today and kind of hear what we're gonna get into.
Yeah, and just to let the guys, the audience know, guys and girls, where you're located at. And I know part of the reason I did kind of want to start doing these interviews during this time is, one, everybody's looking for content. So maybe, the crowds would be like, all right, we don't have anything better else to watch. We'll watch Callie. But I also wanted to do it just to better promote and get the word out, obviously, and showcase.
Yeah.
Being in Indiana, we're kind of getting to see everybody I'm interviewing is kind of in a different place. So it's been kind of neat to see what all is going on in their state. So could you give us a quick background about what's going on in Indianapolis right now?
Yeah.
Before we start diving in. Yeah.
Yes. So I am in Carmel, Indiana, primarily. And right now we actually just had an address from our governor last night. He is asking all non-essential businesses to, if they haven't already shut their doors, to shut their doors. And he's actually starting to ask now essential businesses to also shut their doors, meaning everything's got to become like a pickup or delivery. So all of the restaurants that are here, for the most part, are still operating. But up until today, we could walk in. I've still been getting my Chipotle fix with my gloves and my mask. But now we have to order it, and I think they have to actually bring it curbside or deliver it. So things are getting tighter here. They're saying that this week is going to be the worst week for Indiana because we've had this big surge of virus. And it's actually starting to, I feel like, kind of hit closer to home, every day is now we're hearing people that we know. We have family members right now that are going to get tested because we have a lot of family members that work in ICU here. So we've been hearing all the stories. But luckily, those of us that, have houses and stuff are able to still kind of be outside and all of that. Apartment complexes are now getting alerted when someone has it. My little brother actually just had to go to my grandmother's house, who's still in Florida because of all of this, because 3 people in his complex have it. And they're not allowed to tell you who it is or anything. And he's like, I'm out of here. I'm not staying. He's in a very small apartment complex. So it's getting, the fear factor is really amping up here.
Well, and that's kind of, as things tighten down, why I wanted to do this episode. And when we had talked about it, just helping people kind of find that peace of mind, which is really hard to do when you don't know, excuse my language, what the hell is going on. And you have so many different media outlets that are pulling everybody in so many different directions. And that's kind of my interview that I had with Atif. That's kind of what he was saying is, everybody's fearful. Fear is
Yep.
not what we have to worry about. Fear is, our one emotion that we deal with all the time. It's the panic. And he goes,
Yep.
it's more people are forced, not forced, but asked to stay home and not spread, people are panicking. And he's like, which is funny because, your home's your safe place, because that's where you're safest at. He's like, so everyone, he's like, don't be worried. You're safer in your home than you
Yes.
are out on the road and out in public right now, because this thing can be passed so easily, and it's mutating so rapidly, which is what makes it kind of creepy. But anyway, so obviously lots of like unsureness, uncertainty. And one thing, Brittany, that you always help me with is I love coming to you to do a clearing and kind of just centering myself and kind of pushing out the negative energy. Because I feel like once you start kind of vibing in that negative energy, and you're seeing all the negative on TV, you're seeing all the everybody, kind of breaking down and freaking out on social media platforms, on YouTube, you see all these, big time athletes and like starlets and, superstars that we're used to looking up to that are literally losing their shit, because they've never had to deal with being alone. They're used to teams of people and production crews and like everything else. So it's funny to see everyone and how they're dealing with it in their mental state. So I know we kind of talked about maybe doing a clearing, but for the audience, those of you who have never done a clearing before, or have never gotten to be a part of it, Brittany is kind enough. She's going to do just like a little clearing for our episode today. So anybody that's listening or tuning in, we ask that you do it with us, because it is just like, trying to clear your body, right, Brittany, of just, just be neutral. Yeah.
Yes.
And I'll let the expert take it away.
I love that. So, scientifically now, this isn't, I think for a long time, people would talk about energy, and a lot of people were like, oh, that's what do they call it? Woo woo or whatever, right? Scientifically now, there is so much proof that our energy, we have a field of energy around each of us, right? And the biggest thing I like to relate it to, and Callie will get this because she's a music junkie and fiend. When you go to like a festival or a concert, right? And that song that everyone loves comes on, and all of a sudden your whole body gets chills, right? Chills is one of the, or goosebumps, whatever you want to call it, one of the biggest signs collectively that we feel when an energy surge happens in our body. So when you're at that concert or that festival and the music is going and you're like feeling love and excitement and all, and as I'm saying this, I'm getting goosebumps, all of that all of that energy comes through, everybody feels it, right? That's energy. So there's a lot of levels we could talk about energetics on, but even just at the base, we all have energy. We feel each other's energy. They've now scientifically actually proven as well, when we walk into a room or a space, our energy stays in that space. It's almost like when you walk, in Avatar, like the light hits your feet as you walk. I always kind of see, when people walk in certain places, it's like we light up that space with our energy. So our energy stays in a space, I think, for up to 14 days, I think it was. I'm going to have to double check that, but it's quite some time. So that being said, wherever we're going, we're kind of leaving little pieces of our energy. It's really important every day to try to clear your energy and kind of call it all back home too. So if you can imagine, we're used to being busybodies, right? I'm a mom of two. I'm used to running to the school, to the grocery. I work from home, so I've got my office set up, in and out of everywhere, right? So at the end of the day, I feel scattered. And I know that right now, a lot of people are more feeling like internally scattered because we can't go anywhere. So all our stuff is coming up. But for us to call our energy back home, to really ground into a peaceful place, that's the biggest thing that I try to do with a lot of the people I work with, is let's bring it back to center, right? Because when we're not in center, we're scattered. And I hear so many people say, I'm so scattered, my brain isn't focusing. And I'm like, you're probably, have pieces of your energy all over the place that just need to come home. So that's what I want to kind of touch on today, is that one thing we can do is kind of call our energy back, but then also kind of starting to learn to cut cords. I'll talk about that a little bit more, but creating like a bubble of protection. I call them containers for your day. right? So if you need to reset because you just watched the news or something and you're like feeling that kind of like, you feel fear within your stomach, like your womb space, or you start, it's just not a good feeling.
Yeah.
You don't want to plug into that. So we're going to learn to kind of unplug from that today too. So I reference archangels, I reference Christ, I will reference some other deities. I would say I'm completely non-denominational when it comes to where I fall. I more just feel things within my body. When I do work with clients, I call it field work. I get to see your energy field. I get to see what's blocking or what might be happening. Callie and I have got to share that a lot, and having done that with close friends is even, another layer of awesomeness between us. So we're going to open a container. You guys are welcome to close your eyes if you want to just hone in on what I'm saying. And let yourself feel. A lot of people, I think, when we get into these spaces of kind of coming into like breath or rest, start to panic, which is funny, right? Because you think like, oh, I'm going to meditate, I'm going to be soft. And I think when you have to be still, which we're learning right now on a global level, right? You have to be still. All your stuff comes up. So if you're not used to meditating, don't get on yourself about like, I can't sit here and then not think about 30 other things. Meditation isn't about necessarily always having a clear mind. It's about witnessing what comes up. So if we're sitting still and you just have this nagging thought or these things keep coming up, let's bring attention to that and figure out, why is that coming up? Is it something I need to clear? Is it something I need to say? So being more conscious is what I try to tell any of my clients. I'm like, don't worry about your mind being necessarily quiet. It's just, let's be more conscious about what's in your mind so we can clear it.
And like you said, just
that
listen
being
to your body, actually, like listening. So many of us don't listen to ourselves because we're used to that quick grind, everyday grind of, oh, my back can't hurt. Nope, stomach can't hurt. I don't have time for this. Like, especially, I know you, Brittany, holy crap, mama too, and running a business and everything else. There's been plenty of days where you're like, yeah, like my left arm isn't working, but I don't have time. Not that extreme, but you know what I mean. You're like, yeah, I don't have a left arm today, but I don't have time for that. That's how badass you are. But no, so I think teaching and letting people know too, because that was one of my misunderstandings when I first started meditating, which I didn't start learning about all this until much later in life. And I haven't started taking it very seriously until with you, with the last 2-3 years.
I
a little longer than that, but like hardcore.
Hardcore has been the last like 3 years. Yeah,
the last like 3 years. And it's helped me, but like I want to tell everybody too, in the beginning when I started doing this, oh my God, I have, for those of you who know me and for those of you who don't, I have like ADD, like a mofo. And like I constantly want to be doing a million things. And it comes from when I was young, working all the time on the farm, and I've always worked. Mm-hmm. So let me tell you, when all this started happening, our business got shut down. It's been over a month. So obviously I went through all the phases of, oh crap, I'm not working. I feel horrible for not working. What do I do? And like I started to go crazy because not that work's a crutch, but like it's always been important to me since I was a little girl. And I was taught that if you don't work, you're lazy or blah, blah, blah. So it's been a battle with me. I know those things aren't true, but my body and my energy and everything I've been used to all my life, I've never just stopped for a full month like this. So I was like, I know my brain's going crazy and I'm somewhat in tune with my body. I know most people out there aren't in tune at all. So I can only imagine, and suicide rates are up, divorce rate is up. Like it's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world besides the virus. But sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but just for everybody, like give yourself patience when you're first starting. Because like Brittany said, you're not going to be able to just sit down and clear your mind and boom, you're meditating. Like it's hard and it takes a lot of work. And it takes, finding people like Brittany and others who have focused so much and given so much of their time to like help you walk this through. And Brittany, I do think you're taking new clients on still as well. And we'll talk about that more towards the end so you can get a hold of Brittany and everything too. But I highly, highly, highly recommend reaching out and finding someone, whether it's Brittany or, someone else that offers the same service. But to kind of help get you into that routine if you're serious about it, and maybe just a little extra guidance to kind of get you started. Because I know that having you helped me tremendously. So I know that others will benefit from having someone kind of help them too.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'll
let you continue.
No, I mean, I like to say too, you know, my other intuitive friends that I work with a lot, we always say like, we want to be these bridges, right? Like we want to be the bridge from the struggle and the chaos to the lightness and the grounding, right? We want to be those people that kind of like hold your hand and help you over to that other side. So no, I mean, that's perfect. That's why a lot of us, you know, woke up earlier and others are choosing to wake up now. We've got a mass awakening right now, on a lot of levels. People are starting to realize, you talk about divorce and stuff, you know, when you're put in a place where you can't move and you can't leave, you really have to sit with who people are, right? And not just yourself, but your partners. People are learning more about their kids. If you live with your family, you're getting all new levels of being with your family. So yeah, it's a big consciousness movement right now because everyone is becoming, whether they like it or not, more conscious of everything. So yeah, let's do this. So we're gonna take a couple breaths. Callie and I could talk for like hours. We're gonna take a couple breaths and just kind of ground into the energy. And if you want to close your eyes with me, cool. If not, no worries. And we're just gonna do a little clearing. I'm gonna explain a little bit as I go, since some of you may be totally new to this, and we'll just touch points afterwards. Okay, so if you guys want to just get comfortable, we're going to take 3 deep breaths. And as you guys are breathing, I want you to imagine pulling all the energy that's going on. So if you're worried about the virus, if you're worried about your marriage, about your kids, about your job, about money, I just want all of that to come from your belly when you take this breath. And as you blow out, I want you to imagine all of it just coming out and just leaving your body. So let's take a deep breath in and just pull all that emotion up. And breathe it out. We're going to do that 2 more times. And we're going to start to open up a safe and protected container and start a clearing right now for anyone who's watching this live, anyone who's watching this on replay, anyone who is ready to just let go of some stuff that no longer is serving them. I'm going to call into our highest versions of ourselves. I'm going to call in all of our teams, our angels, our guides. I'm going to call in Christ and Mother Mary. I'm going to call in the galactic federations of love and light. I'm going to ask Archangel Michael in his most pure, sovereign, and divine form to come in and assist in cutting any cords that no longer serve us, removing any energies from our fields that no longer resonate, that are not assisting us in being in our most miraculous, abundant, and our best timeline right now. And I want everyone to imagine us sitting in this platinum bubble. And as this bubble is coming around your being and your body and your field, I just want us to imagine this bubble just radiating and illuminating in this platinum light. And I'm going to ask that our teams and our angels place 37 layers of mirrors and protection around this. So if you can imagine this platinum bubble, and then imagine all of these mirrors just encasing that bubble. And these mirrors are facing outwards. Within these mirrors, I'm going to ask for Christ and galactic coding, and then platinum light to also be in these mirrors. And what this does is when you place mirrors around you in this light, is it deflects anything that is of ill will, of harm, that's trying to attempt to infiltrate your peace, basically. So you're in this little cocoon of light, and we're just going to ask that these mirrors be illuminated, and to deflect and denounce any backlash, any energetic whiplash, to denounce anything dark. And as we're denouncing darkness, I'm going to ask that any dark, any Luciferian, satanic, demonic, negative AI or negative ET energies be removed from our fields, be removed from our light bodies, our auric bodies, our conscious, subconscious, unconscious, and superconscious minds to be cleansed and cleaned. And anyone who cannot assist in this clearing, we also ask that you kindly step out of this container for the time being. I'm going to call upon our ancestors. Those of you who do know me or have worked with me know that I am Indian. I call upon my ancestors a lot, but we're also going to invite all of you guys to call upon your ancestors, kind of benevolent ones, to come into this space and help us heal. We're going to clear the grids below us, to the left, to the right, above, and front and behind us, and ask for illumination within this space. And they're bringing a lot of energy into my heart. So I want to go ahead and cut some cords around here. So if you guys can imagine your heart, and if you want to place your hand on your heart, you can. So I'm just going to imagine gold encasing all of our hearts. And I'm going to ask to be shown any cords that are ready to be released. So some of you might be feeling or seeing cords at this point. Some of you might not. I'm just going to ask that any cord that's trying to siphon our energy, that is bringing any ill will, harm, any, they're saying like malfunction, but I know what they're meaning is like any illness that's within our heart, whether that be grief, whether our body is housing illness. I'm just going to ask that all be lifted and transmuted into light. I'm going to ask that Christ just place his hands on our heart right now. And Archangel Michael has a very beautiful silver sword. And I want you guys to imagine, if you can see the cords or you just are open to receiving the cords that need to be cut, imagine the sword just cutting these cords away. And as those are cut away, we're just going to feel so much more brightness and platinum and gold within our heart. They're showing fire. Platinum fire comes in for healing. So I'm just going to ask that we bring the most love and healing into this heart space. That feels better. And then I'm also going to ask if you want to put your hands on your belly. We're going to ask that any cords that are being connected to this space, which our bellies are where we feel, right? They say gut instinct. So this is where we feel intuitively a lot. And a lot of times our intuition can get murky and yucky when we're being inundated with social media and news and all of that. So we're going to ask that any cords in this space in our intuitive body also be cut. We're going to fill this space up as well with just a golden bubble, golden creator substance. And we're going to place platinum fire in that space for transmutation. And then I want you guys to imagine that your feet are on the earth. And we're going to imagine this earth is beautiful and it is full of love and light. And this virus is gone, that everyone is healthy, that we can feel the sun on our bodies. And when you just look out, like I'm hearing birds where I'm at right now, and you just kind of feel like you're in nature. The grass is really green. The sky is blue. And imagine that you're standing on this earth, and I want you to plant golden roots from your feet down into that earth. And we're going to activate new earth grid beneath each of you that are watching this. And as those roots are going down, I want you to also imagine this platinum light coming up. So as you plant roots in this new earth grid, this platinum light comes up and it will go through your feet, come up through your belly, come up through your heart, and then all the way up through your head, through your crown. And it's going to connect you back into the galactic and central sun, into source energy, which is pure love and light. Now let's just take a breath into that space. And I just ask for us all to be grounded. And we're going to call all of our pieces of our essence back home. Any energy that's lingering, that wants to come back, we can to come back into being and integrate softly with ease, grace. We're just going to ask that anything that's ready to be lifted away from our fields, from our being, just lift it effortlessly. And I'm going to ask for a third order guide team to come in and to just sweep our fields right now to see if there's anything that is implanted that's dark that needs to be removed, any grief that needs to be lifted. I'm going to ask to pour rainbow and platinum DNA within our bodies. And this upgrade is going to help our bodies fight anything that's coming towards us. It's going to deflect away negative radiation, all the GMOs that are happening in our foods now. It's going to remove virus. And I want us all to come into this highest and most abundant timeline for ourselves, where miracles happen and manifest immediately. And we just ask to be held in this safe and protected container and on our fields. And we thank our teams for favor. all the favor that we have. And as we sit in the closing of this container, we just ask that a wave of love, light, and gratitude go out into the collective globally. And we will lift these prayers, and this container is set, and so it is. I feel lighter. I said, I feel lighter.
Right? I'm like, oh, hold on, my back's moving again.
It's funny when we sit in that space too, like, you know, you start to feel where you're like holding, right? Where we're holding tension. And some of you, if you've never done clearings, might have heard a lot of things that I said and be like, I have no idea what that is. Callie will share with you my information so you guys can ask me as many questions as you want. Everyone does clearings differently, but that is a very generalized clearing to just help you guys be grounded and just remove all that yucky. So I'd love to hear if you guys watch this, if you felt stuff lift or of what you felt like afterwards.
Yeah, if there was a difference or not. And I'm not posting these live as of right now, which most of you have probably figured that out by now. But we will be going live, and if Brittany will allow it, I'm obviously going to have her back on many times. So we'll be doing some of these live, I hope. And you guys can obviously comment and stuff in real time, but please don't be shy. Message and Brittany, I'll have her links and stuff when I post this video of how you can get in touch with her and ask her questions, or if you want to ask me and I'll ask her, whatever's the easiest. We're both pretty friendly. So but no, I would be interested too to see if people can kind of feel a difference or not, especially because we're sitting with so much stuff right now, I feel like.
Yeah, it's an emotional time.
I know. And besides, keeping good mental mind space, we can go a little lighthearted here. You are a phenomenal makeup artist, and as I can see, your style is still looking good. Makeup, hair, nails, everything on point, my girl. I love it. Quarantine, you ain't gonna come out of quarantine looking bad. I've seen all the little memes and everything of what people are gonna look like. Everybody's got like the unibrows, the like crazy hair. So it's interesting. I think I joked with you that we should do an episode where we teach people just like simplicity of like trimming in or cutting your kids' hair.
Yeah.
Like little easy stuff.
I've seen a lot of people are starting to share.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and I was gonna ask, so do you have any like feel good basics that people can do at home? Obviously I know you're big into the essential oils, and I love that, but like any essential oils or natural remedies or lotions that like, because I know you're into that and have made a lot of your own concoctions and stuff. So
my witchy side. Yeah, I said my witchy side. So I would say that the perk of us being in quarantine and still having delivery is Amazon is still full blown bringing things to people. That being said, I think Callie has some links I might be able to share through her that she may be able to give to you guys of some products that I can give. I would say a lot of people, I'll just go down basics. Skincare right now is, for those of us that are used to getting facials and all these other things done, and now we can't see our estheticians, stress brings breakouts in a lot of people. There's, all kinds of different concoctions you can make for like face masks and stuff like that. But I would say the general, like simplest thing would be tea tree oil, which is an antiseptic and it's antibacterial. It also feels really great. It's got like a tingle a little bit. So what I've been doing is I have a bottle of tea tree oil, and then I have vitamin C serum and a vitamin C just face lotion. I use Derma E, which is a great brand. They're all natural. So I do a couple pumps of the face lotion at night with 1 or 2 drops of essential oil and just rub it in and go all over my face, into my neck, and on my chest. And it's helped keep my face clear, which has been great. And then as far as, hair and stuff, I am not a hairstylist, so I can't technically give you professional advice on that. But I do know that avocado, honey, mixed up together makes a really great moisturizing mask. So for those of us that have like colored hair like I do, I'll mix those up sometimes and just lather my hair in it, throw it up in a bun, and like wrap it in a towel if I need to, and leave that on for like 20 minutes, shower and rinse it out. It's really great moisturizing. Lip scrubs, I love to do sugar. Yeah, so sometimes I do coffee too. I'm like a coffee fiend, so I'll put coffee and sugar together, like coffee grounds, and just rub it all over your lips. You can also add a dab of honey, and that will make an exfoliation and still keep a lot of moisture in your lips. Trying to think what else.
You can buy fake nails off Amazon too, but
I know.
I'm not very good at putting them on.
I mean, my nails
done pretty well. They're
filled.
really long. I was like, screw it, I'm gonna go crazy.
But I mean, I do think, a big thing, whether we want to admit it or not, is our mental state is huge in how we feel. And it's not conceited or vain to know that feeling and looking pretty to yourself makes you feel better emotionally. I saw a meme the other day. Someone's like, by now men should know if women are still getting ready in quarantine, it's for themselves and not everybody else. Like, right?
So we can feel pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's important right now, is to have like some sense of normality. So like,
yes.
Now don't get me wrong, I don't do this every day because I'm like, this is awesome. And I don't even do this in my regular life because I'm at a track most of the time. So my makeup doesn't matter. But like, I've been trying to get up every day, somewhat put myself together, whether it's for me or my husband. I'm sure he doesn't like looking at my bum ass self looking like I just roll out of bed all day. So, and he's stuck around me a lot. So I want to make sure he stays like,
yeah.
So it's a lot. And that's kind of why I wanted to do this with you today, not only meditation, and clearings and keeping your mind in a good mental state, but also the other little things. So kind of like we were talking about, ladies, don't feel bad, and a lot of us, I know, especially if your job, like a lot of you are used to having to wear makeup, hair done, suits, all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure a lot of you are excited for the first, week, and now you're like, okay, and you're putting your suits on, don't lie, walking around the house, like,
right.
I've done that a couple times. I put my race suit on and my helmet, and like, I just want to go to the track and drive. I just walk around the house. Like all
hey,
that.
whatever
floats my. I'll go sit. I have a cart with no seat in the garage. I'll go sit in that cart and just pretend, do a couple laps. But no, it's important. And two, I wanted to touch on. Obviously, a lot of people aren't used to being in such close proximity with their family, their significant others, or their roommates. I know I have several friends that are struggling with roommates right now, just because they're all quarantined inside together and they weren't friends before. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So like stuff like that going on. So it's important to take care of your mentality on all bases. So not only doing work like what you can do with Brittany, but also taking care of yourself as far as like, essential oils, making sure you feel pretty and having that, good self of worth while all this is going on, or any of that. And then I also wanted to touch on, because we did like a little bit of a clearing, and kind of spoke with everyone about, doing that and some of the places they can go to learn more. But I also wanted to touch a little bit on actual like meditation itself and the different types of meditation. And since we kind of talked about, obviously making yourself feel a little better. So in my personal opinion, I know that I can kind of clear my mind when I'm not worrying about so many things. So if I'm feeling more relaxed, so I know a lot of times, like I'll take a hot shower, lotion up, maybe put some like lavender essential oils or something behind like my ears and nose. And then I'll go try to like sit and repeat some light stretching too before will help me. And I was wondering if you could just give some suggestions of like some stuff like that, and then like maybe easy meditations people can kind of start out on, because earlier it's hard. Meditation is not easy.
I would say, and interesting because water actually for a lot of people is a very grounding and centering thing. You know, for me, I get the most messages from when I say teams, we all have angels and guides and higher beings that help assist in our like intuitive abilities. So when I say team, that's who I'm referring to. But I get the most messages from my teams when I do take showers. So when I'm feeling blocked or like I need help, I'll just go stand under the water and just breathe and just let myself kind of center. So I do think showers or baths or whatever helps a lot of people. I also know that lighting candles is something that a couple of my friends and I have recently talked about. Imagining as we like light the candle, we're invoking a certain energy into that space, right? So I light candles all over my place. So I've got, you know, one in the kitchen, in the bathroom, in the living room, in the bedroom. And every time I light it, I just ask that, you know, as I light this candle and call on the element of fire, I ask to burn away fear. I ask to burn away anything that shouldn't be here, that's not for me or my family's highest good. And I ask for protection. And you know, in the bedroom, I ask for softness. And in the living room, I ask for playful energy because the boys are always in there. So candles can also be a way to kind of connect into a softer space. Other than that, breathing, I would say, is the easiest and best place to start because a lot of us don't breathe as much as we should. I started doing Wim Hof. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's like this huge master of breath. And if you go to his website, I think it's wimhof.com, he has like a 10-minute basic breathing technique. And the first time I did it, I thought I was going to pass out, which is funny because we're like, we should be able to breathe, right? For 10 minutes, this isn't a big deal. But he gets you into such a rhythm of breath that it actually starts your body. Like I had parts of my body going numb because I'm like, oh, wow, like I haven't even realized that I don't think I'm moving breath through my body like I'm supposed to. And it's gotten way easier since I've been doing it for a minute now. But in the beginning, it was crazy. And I definitely recommend breathing. So I would say if you're starting to meditate or you want to be able to be in a meditative space, learn to sit and just breathe. And if you want to visualize, I would say imagine, you know, either there's a lot of different things and everyone might be called to something different. I imagine like platinum bubbles. Sometimes they're pink bubbles. I imagine sometimes like a tornado of light around me that's just protecting me when I feel like I need to be grounded. You can imagine a box or a Merkaba, or just imagine you're letting all that stuff out when you breathe and just breathing in light. So there's a lot of like simple ways. And sometimes if you just sit and breathe, you'll be surprised what you intuitively will either see, feel, or hear when you sit with yourself.
Now I was surprised at how many people just don't know how to breathe properly because that's something that
that was me.
Yeah, that's something we work on with our students. That's one of our first things we usually do with people is you want to teach your body to breathe and continue to breathe as you drive and as you drive at those high speeds because you never want to be holding your breath because that affects obviously your reaction time and you know you blink and something can happen. So you always want to not have to be worrying about holding your breath. And I noticed when I didn't do it so much in cars, but when Kyle started teaching me the karting, because you are pulling more G's and you're carrying much more speed around corners, I was noticing I was holding my breath a lot of times trying to make sure, you know, I was hitting my point, you know, perfect. And in doing so, I was losing track of my breathing and then not realizing that once I holding my breath there and then I screwed up my breathing, you know, for the rest of the lap. Yeah. So it's crazy. And that's one thing surprisingly a lot of people don't know how to do is breathe, letting breathing in, letting your stomach all the way in, and then as you're letting it out, you're bringing your stomach in. It's like opposite almost. So I joke with everybody, just sit and maybe not even try to meditate the first time. Just try to properly breathe for 90 seconds or 120 seconds and see if you can just constantly breathe.
Yeah.
That can be hard.
It's crazy.
It's surprising, all these things I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, meditation, breathing, all this stuff, this is easy. All these people do it. And I'm like, no, this stuff is hard and takes lots and lots and lots of like mental focus, which I know would start a whole World War III if I started arguing about it. But I think mental focus can be harder a lot of times than physical focus, by all means. I think
I do too.
Drain it and take it out of you way quicker than physical, and you recover from physical a lot quicker than you do mental, which is another reason why I wanted to do this show today, because keeping our mental state, is so important, and keeping, somewhat of a normality to our lives with these unknown times. And just knowing that, like, we're all going to be good. Like, it's, just remember, we've all got friends, family, everybody's going through and dealing with it a little different. And I want to remind everybody that, you're not the only one being affected. I've kind of been disappointed. A lot of people I've talked to, and not everybody by any means, but quite a few people I've talked to, kind of being shut off to like just their little bubble. And it's interesting, when things like this happen, how much people segregate themselves and start to think they're the only ones being negatively impacted or hurt. And it's like, no, we got to remember, a lot of businesses that are freaking out right now, that are having to shut down and freaking out. It's like, did you know that other businesses have been out of work for a month already? That was somebody kind of got smart with Kyle the other day, because we've still been trying to work and come up with different stuff. Because I mean, our racing team is our income. So right now, all the racing, all the tracks, everything is completely shut down, completely closed. All the performance driving schools that we coach at, all the programs that we drive for, obviously those all being events, everything is shut down. And I had a friend that did get smart, but just kind of like, one of those comments like, oh, well, my business, like I'm not an essential business anymore. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm just having a hard day. And I was like, dude, meditate, it'll help. And like the response back was something like, look, you just don't know. And I couldn't help myself. Like I was trying to be considerate, and like people are just having bad days. But I like just wrote back and was like, hey, I'm here for you. I'm really sorry. But I think I do know, considering I've been out of work for a month. And the immediate response was, I'm so sorry. I totally wasn't even thinking about it. So I want to remind everyone too, like during this time, keeping a good mental state, I think will help with this, but don't get so absorbed with just yourself, and what's going on with just you, because I think that will make you go crazy. If you just start focusing on you and the negative and that kind of thing, think about others and think about things that you can do for other people. Brittany, I know a really good friend of ours, Jack, on Lyria. He's renting out, obviously Airbnb is taking a big hit, and he's renting out one of his homes to nurses and doctors that need to be closer to the hospitals. So there's so many amazing things we can be doing. And I think it is important, in keeping a good mental state, is remembering we're all in this together, and like helping one another. And whether it is calling up and, having a call and doing a clearing for a friend or a meditation for a friend, like all of it goes a really, really long way. And it's exciting to have you as one of my friends, and why I wanted to share with everyone is, we're not in this alone. Don't be afraid to ask or talk to people. Everybody's going through some shit right now.
Yeah.
So no one be afraid to, and that was another big thing I wanted to push, is reach out. Even if you see this and you don't know me, I'm pretty nice. I was raised in the South. My mama taught me to be a sweet, sweet Southern belle most of the time. But like, don't be afraid too. I hit up some, I've hit up some random people that I have no idea who they are on like Instagram and Facebook. Just thanking people who are out working, and like also, just showing appreciation. And I joke with like all my friends, like, hey, like, who cares if somebody thinks you're weird? Go thank someone, or like go be grateful and see the kind of impact we can have on one another too. So like helping each other's mental state is kind of where I'm getting with this big, with this big explanation.
I love it.
But yeah, helping each other out, because we can help with each other's mental state. And just
Yes.
remembering too, everybody, all this social media and like everything that you're seeing, be taking that as what it is, and we all get sucked into the media outlets these days. But do remember that, you know, most all the media outlets are owned by one company, and they're getting around, you know, they're telling the points that best interest them and get them the most ratings.
Yes.
So make sure before like freaking out or getting upset or, you know, going to the grocery store and buying everything off the shelves, that you are, you know, visiting some of the websites that, you know, we're giving Atif earlier, the ER doctor. He gave us a lot of websites so we could go that literally update daily on, you know, the cases, how many there are, the different procedures, regulations that have been put in place. You can go in and check your state, your county. So just keeping up to with what's going on. Because I know, Brittany, like a lot of why I've been calling you for clearings is like, okay, the few times I've gone and tried to figure out what's going on, like I have so much different information that's conflicting that now like I'm so confused. I don't even know like if I'm going left or if I'm going right or if I have the coronavirus. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of craziness going on. And so I want to ask Brittany what a good kind of beginner meditation. I know we kind of talked about just like sitting and practicing on breathing, but I know you have some great ones that you offer. And then you've also shared some like online YouTube. I don't know if you have some that you might like to tell the audience about or where they can find yours at, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So I have a personal one that's a generalized clearing. I also am actually currently getting all of my YouTube stuff up. So I will have you share my Facebook link. It's under Brittany Renee. I have a lot of conscious talk. I do some clearings on there. I actually just did like an hour-long live just addressing kind of the energy yesterday. So that's up on my Facebook page as well. But yeah, I definitely have all kinds of tools, and I try to keep a lot of it, you know, speaking of energetics and stuff, I try to keep a lot of it as sacred as my son is over here. You want to say hi?
Hi.
He saw my live.
I already saw that.
You did. I like to keep a lot of my products and clearings in a more sacred space. And so it benefits, I think, the clients a little bit more. So that being said, a lot of times I'll speak with clients when they're new and kind of do work with them. And then I also do personalized clearings for a lot of my clients. So if we do work together, I sit and I download messages from your guides, your teams, and your angels to best clear for your specific being. And so I like to kind of have consults first. So I'll give all my info to Callie, and that way you guys can reach out to me. And if you want to just chat to know more about what I do, if you want to do work together, I am accepting a few new clients, not a ton right now because the energy has been heavy, but I'm definitely wanting to reach out and help. So I'll give you all my links and then you can post them so people can reach out to me. And yeah, as far as the meditations, if you don't want to reach out yet and you're still kind of timid, I would say going on YouTube and just putting in beginner meditation, figure out what voice you like. That's a big thing first too. A lot of people have to find like a voice that's calming to them. There are some on there that I'll listen to for like 2 minutes and I'm like, nope, can't do it. So find like a channel or a voice that you like and maybe start that way and kind of, do it yourself. YouTube is a wonderful tool for that. And when you're ready for something maybe more personalized or you want to dive into work, definitely you can reach out to me, and I've got a ton of other people that I can refer out for all kinds of things, intuitively and healing wise too.
Yay, that's awesome.
Yay.
And last but not least, so we are going to do a little bit of a, I'm trying to think of the best way to promote it because I don't want to be like rated R or, but we are going to do like a Saturday night, late night, where we are going to touch on some more risque type topics. And the one we're going to be talking about, and Miss Brittany, I believe you said you would do it, but if not, I'm going to put you on the spot and make you do it anyway. So Saturday night, just getting together, this is going to be a girl night theme. We will have one gentleman joining us, I hope, just to kind of get a guy perspective, if I can talk him into doing it. But we're just going to talk a little bit more about the differences in our personal relationships, whether it's a husband, boyfriend, whatever that may be, and keeping things interesting during this time. So kind of coming up with creative ideas, because obviously you are being around that significant other a whole lot more than probably what you're used to, or you guys are having to work on more stuff together, you know, and figure out these strange times. So we're going to dig a little deeper and have some fun with some different ladies and their takes on their relationships and how they're dealing with it from all different walks of life. So some married, some not married. And then, like I said, if I can get this one gentleman too, he's married and hilarious and would be a really good input of just getting some guy advice from time to time. I've worked with him in radio for many years. He's fantastic, married for many, many years, and has 2 beautiful children. And he has a pretty cool outlook on some stuff. So we're hoping to have some fun and be a little more lighthearted in that conversation as we get down to the nitty gritty of keeping those sexier relationships alive during this time too, and having some fun. And then as well as check out Qued.Upinfo for all the happenings, next episodes. All Brittany's information is going to be on the website as well as on our social media platforms. So you can dig in deeper if you'd like to do a clearing or learn more about it or just ask some questions. Definitely want to make Brittany available to you guys. And like she said, she's taking on a couple more clients. You want to be one of her clients. She's awesome. So before those spots fill up, hop on, fill those spots, get in now while you can. And other than that, Miss Lovely Lady, I think that's it. This has been fun.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, I'm going to get these edited today and up for everyone to see tomorrow. For those of you, I'm not going to tell you what date is right now. Just know this will be up Wednesday. But yeah, and
I love it.
To touch as well, you kind of touched on it. Amazon has partnered up with me. So any products, clothes, anything that we talk about that Amazon carries, I actually have a link on the Qued Up website where you can go get discounts, or you have a place where you can get what we're talking about. And Brittany is like me. I always shop around for the best price. I'm always going to be honest. So like I know that I purchased a few things and I have a blog entry that's going to hit this week. And I tell you guys, like, it's available on Amazon, but I found it cheaper on eBay or wherever, because I know, especially right now with how times are, we would definitely want to save money everywhere we can. But yeah, so you can check out the Amazon store, the website, all kinds of fun things to keep you guys active during these crazy times. And I hope everyone is staying safe. Remember, wash your hands, 6 feet. I know it sucks. Stay at home. We're all grounded right now. But please feel free, questions, message us, and let us know too what other topics you want to talk about or hear. Because obviously we want to talk about stuff you guys want to talk about. But other than that, Miss Brittany, I'll let you get back to helping clear and help those others meditate and your lovely little family. Thank you so much for taking time this morning. Always a pleasure.
I love
you, sweetie.
Love you. Bye.
Bye, guys.